In this episode of Performance Unleashed, we will take you deep into the breathtaking views of the Rocky Mountains, just outside of Boulder, Colorado. Welcome to Boulder, Colorado, a beautiful city right at the edge of the Rocky Mountains. Its beauty and simple access to amazing climbing conditions has made Boulder, Colorado synonymous with great climbing conditions. Our adventure focuses on free climbers embarking on technical climbs up sharp and dangerous rocks. These are professional climbers. Climbing without proper training and the right equipment can put climbers at risk of serious injury or even death. This episode is a showcase of the physical, mental, and psychological hardships overcome in these specific types of athletic challenges. In this video, we highlight the importance of preparation, nutrition, hydration, and equipment in conquering the challenges of climbing, whether that is mountaineering or alpine, traditional or trad climbing, or bouldering or free solo. Along the way, we'll hear from three professional climbers, TJ, Aubrey, and Kelly. They are experienced in traditional, sport, and bouldering forms of climbing. They will provide perspectives and personal insights into the psychological and mental challenges of this unique sport, as they reveal their personal motivations and what drives their love of their sport of climbing. You will witness their steely commitment as they push beyond their inner drive, overcoming fear, discomfort, and exhaustion, counterbalanced by their passion and pursuit of their goal. Climbing is where determination is the foundation of possibility. Climbers embark on their personal journeys of risk and accomplishment. These athletes constantly look up to their dreams, ready to take on the ultimate test of body and mind: climbing. This isn't just any sport. It's a grueling combination of danger, risk, preparation, and effort, pushing ever upward to new limits of human potential. Climbing is not just another sport, it is a challenge that requires body and mind, and most importantly, an unwavering resilience that lies within. Welcome to our latest edition of Performance Unleashed, the sport of climbing. The first type of climbing we are going to examine is known as mountaineering, mountain climbing, or alpinism. It is the oldest and most adventurous type of climbing, and it dates back to the ancient Greeks, and even Hannibal and the elephants crossing the Alps. The goal of mountaineering is to reach high points in the mountainous regions. It's similar to hiking, except it can be more physically demanding. Mountaineering is the most dangerous type of climbing, and it requires a lot of skills in order to safely climb up a mountain and get back down. A mountaineer must be good at climbing on rock, snow, and even ice. Mountaineering can involve most of the gear usually used for rock climbing, as well as ice axes, crampons, and hiking gear. These climbers have to be aware of natural hazards like rock slides, avalanches, and lightning, and have to know how to take care of themselves and their climbing partners in challenging and sometimes extreme situations. The first climber we meet is TJ Sanford. He is a long-time avid sport climber. Is climbing Dracula, a V12 climb in Boulder Canyon. This climb is near the top end of the climbing scale, just before it gets really dangerous.
In climbing, there are a bunch of different disciplines. There's bouldering, sport climbing, trad climbing, alpine climbing. All of those different disciplines require different equipment. Sport climbing is a really fun endeavor that mentally is challenging of it, but the protection that we use while we're climbing is this dynamic rope that I have next to me, and some quick draws. With that, I wear a harness and a helmet as well to keep myself safe, and then I connect all of this stuff to bolts as I climb up the wall. I think for most people's just first impression when they hear rock climbing, they think it's dangerous and you're outside and you're in nature and you're high off the ground and you're potentially going to fall to your death. 99% of the time, that is not the case. All this equipment that is here with me is here for a reason. We use it. We have systems and protocols on how to use this equipment that really mitigates the amount of risk we're putting ourselves in when we're out in this terrain. We get to go explore and experience these spaces that, maybe don't get traveled very often, or maybe it's been centuries since humans have walked there. But we also get to go get perspectives in these spaces that most other people haven't, or maybe never will. Climbing for me has been an endeavor of growth. And it has shown me that it's okay to fail. It's shown me that it's okay that somebody else is better than me. In climbing, in sports and athletics, a lot of times it's a goal, it's a competition, it's winning, it's getting to the top. But it doesn't always have to be that.
Climbing demands total strength of hands, feet, arms, and legs. It also requires skill, technique, and core stability. Each handhold is a coordination of movements that must be perfected to support their climbing. But there's a catch. With each toe and handhold, climbers lose vital fluids through sweat and heavy breathing, or the exhalation of water vapor. As TJ reaches for his last hold on the climb, you can actually sense the relief from everyone on the ground. TJ Sanford has successfully completed the Dracula climb without injury. This was almost like watching an artist paint a painting. As climbers impel themselves upward, their bodies need to be like well-oiled machines. Their first challenge is the impact on their fingers and toes. The repeated gripping of their hands and feet on the rock face creates tremendous stress on their body's paw and hooves. The continuous gripping and releasing can lead to muscle fatigue and joint strain. But that's not all they have to contend with. The scorching sun, low humidity, rising temperature, and the high altitude add additional layers of difficulty, exacerbating dehydration further beyond that caused by exertion.
I know that when I personally am not hydrated, I start to get dizzy, I start to get lightheaded, my muscles don't work well, I'm not as coordinated as I should be. And all of those factors, whether I'm on the wall climbing or hiking to or from a climb, are extremely important.
You use the NASA-developed hydration formula called the Right Stuff. How do you feel?
I feel quite good, actually. Normally by the time I come down off of a route, I am very thirsty, and I don't feel that way at the moment. I feel like I could actually climb again.
The second type of climbing we are going to examine is called traditional or trad climbing. It is one in which climbers plan their route, then place fall protection at the site, which can include chocks, which are metal wedges on wires wedged into a rock crack, camming devices, which are spring-loaded sticks with rotating wheels that open up between cracks, and climbing spikes, or pittons, to protect climbers from falling on the way up to the summit or as the group passes on the way back down. They then remove them when they are done on the climb back down the face. The climbing hardware is known as protection, or simply Pro. The next climber we meet is Aubrey Runyon, who is a longtime rock climber. This form of climbing is very technical and needs to be done by highly skilled climbers. There is no pre-inspection and no rope protection.
My name is Aubrey Runyon. I've been rock climbing for roughly 23 years. I mainly specialize in traditional style climbing, also just known as trad climbing. What drives me to trad climb is the puzzle aspect and the fear aspect and the overcoming that sort of challenge, and also the ability to go a lot more places because you don't need established protection there. You can find your own way and find your own way to protect yourself. I would say what initially drew me to rock climbing was the fear factor, allowing me something to overcome fears and to push myself physically in a way that also overcame those fears.
The strength of their hands and feet is hypercritical to success, affording them the opportunity to bask in their exhilarating climb. Hydration is paramount, as dehydration can strike without notice during the most inopportune times during the climb. Dehydration can slow the blood flow to the muscles, affect cognitive focus and physical performance. Proper nutrition, especially macronutrients like fats and carbs, are essential to provide sustained energy during the demanding climb. And while fuel is important, Liquids and electrolytes are essential as hydration affects so many metabolic pathways that impact mental focus and physical stamina.
I mean, one of the worst stories I have was involving dehydration and spending like 28 hours on the wall straight with no water, and getting like completely loopy and not being able to even know like where I was or what I was doing anymore, and having to like grovel my way out of a canyon, and then drink half a gallon when we got back to the car.
Even though the sport often requires a team for a successful climb, there is a solitude that is experienced, as the climber must be highly focused on their moment-by-moment challenges. Next, we will learn about bouldering. It has simple equipment requirements of climbing shoes, chalk, and a crash pad to soften and protect landings. Since there are no ropes in bouldering, every fall off the rock is a ground fall. Bouldering routes, or problems, are typically short, requiring a handful of very powerful moves to complete. In addition to outdoor climbs, climbing gyms often offer a bouldering section. Free climbing is where climbers use their hands and feet to find hand and footholds to move up the wall. There are indoor bouldering gyms and outdoor bouldering areas all around the world. The height of a typical bouldering wall is around 12 feet. Indoor bouldering gyms offer different grade climbs and have a massive safety mat for when a climber falls. Meanwhile, outdoor bouldering typically necessitates climbers carry their own crash pads for fall safety. The last climber that we meet is Kelly Birch. She's an enthusiastic boulderer. She left climbing for a while to become an Olympic weightlifter before returning to the sport where she focuses on bouldering.
But bouldering is a discipline of climbing where you're without ropes. You put crash pads, foam at the bottom to kind of cushion your fall. It's usually anywhere from, 4 to 20 moves of climbing, and pretty powerful, punchy, and physical. And you're trying to get on top of the rock, basically.
Because of the short burst, high-intensity nature of bouldering, it is essential that the climbers pre-hydrate to avoid negative declines in focus and energy. Drinking high-concentration electrolyte drinks, like the NASA-developed formula known as the Right Stuff, can eliminate the risk of depletion of stores of sodium and chloride or salt. Climbers can lose up to a gallon of sweat per hour of high-intensity climbing. In that sweat is upwards of 3 grams of total electrolytes that are lost, with over 90% being sodium and chloride or salt. In context of those grades, and getting back to the actual climb, climbers' bodies face an incredible test of resilience and willpower. While the mental and physical challenges of the climb are great, some of the bodily challenges are more a function of their nutritional preparation. For example, cramps are a real possibility. Cramps can stop the unyielding determination of the human body quickly.
I spend a lot of time climbing outside and hiking and doing other outdoorsy stuff, but mostly focused on hard bouldering.
Proper diet with foods like potatoes and bananas can ensure a solid foundation of potassium, which is essential for the cells throughout the body. Another essential dietary element is sodium. Good sources include cottage cheese, pickles, and other obvious foods like salty snacks, canned soup, and vegetable juice like V8. Sodium is critical for helping the body retain water necessary across many metabolic pathways that affect cognition, focus, muscle responsiveness, etc., all of which are extremely important to climbers. And so, the tale of the Climbers Challenge reaches its apex. They have pushed themselves to even greater climbing challenges, surpassing prior boundaries to climb beyond what they once thought possible. Throughout the climb, they faced physical challenges and risks that would make most falter. The climber's journey is a testament to the potential that lies within each of them, the commitment to taking risks, overcoming, succeeding, and continuing to dream. This is Endurance Unleashed, a celebration of extraordinary athletes and an invitation to redefine what it means to challenge yourself to achieve greatness as you define it.